So if you are here early, just start to focus on your breath and start to gently bring your mind inwards so that you can start to concentrate on your own body. Withdraw your attention from external influences. So everything that's going on at work, everything that's going on in your life, just try and park it to one side for the next 30 minutes so that you can spend this 30 minutes really focusing on your inner journey, your priorities, your sense of self. Make this time for you. So welcome Vodafone. Welcome to my regulars from Vodafone HQ who I haven't seen for ages. So we'll be having classes twice a week, Tuesday lunchtime, which is more or less when we have our normal class. And instead of our early Wednesday, I'm going to be here on the mat early on Thursday at 7:30. So I do hope you'll join me then. And I do hope that I'll see you in the flesh before too long, which should be lovely. And if you're new to class or you're new to yoga, then welcome. Look after yourself, stay safe on and off the mat. And that means in yoga, if a pose seems to be a little bit too difficult for you today, take the easy option. Don't push it, don't hurt yourself. If it hurts, it's not yoga. One of the strong principles by which yogis attempt to live is ahimsa, or non-harm, non-violence. So we espouse non-violence. That's why many of us are vegetarians or vegans, why we are. But it doesn't just mean being gentle and kind to animals. It means being kind to other human beings, all living beings, and also being kind to yourself. So do remember in yoga, it's never a competition. You're never here to force your body into difficult postures. You're here to explore what your body will do and challenge your mind to go into places that it might not have gone before. It's never competitive. And there's no one else to compete with when we're doing a virtual class. So focus on what the posture gives you and go at your own pace and be kind. So when you're ready, sit comfortably on your mat with a long spine. So that can be in Sukhasana, cross-legged pose, easy pose, or Siddhasana, sage pose, where you attempt to bring the heels towards the perineum and sit as tall as you can. If external rotation is bad for you, if you don't like this feeling on your hips or your knees, then you can take blocks to lift yourself up and give you a bit more space in the pose, or you can come to a kneeling pose if you find that more comfortable, either with your feet underneath you or with your feet turned so that your calves roll out and you bring your feet towards your buttocks. So whichever position you're in, sit up as tall as you can, use cushions or blocks if you need them, and bring your focus to your breath, closing your eyes if it's helpful to you. I'll just carry on talking. I'll give you the instructions verbally so you don't have to look. We're just focusing now on the breath. Watch the breath. So before we do anything with the breath, we're just going to connect with the breath. Watch the breath as it comes in through the nose, fills the mouth and the throat and the lungs, as the diaphragm drops down, as the belly domes. And then watch as that happens in reverse. So the more you focus on the physical activity of breath, the more your mind draws inwards and away from other things which may be bothering you. And you can use all sorts of imagery. You can watch the breath in different places, in your rib cage, in your chest, in your sternum, or you can feel the sensation of the air passing over the top lip as it enters the nostrils. Notice which muscles are engaged in the belly, in the pelvic floor, in the side waist. Throat should be soft, shoulders nice and relaxed. So we're going to practice Ujjayi breathing today. This is a pranayama for strength and determination. To do Ujjayi, we just lightly constrict the throat in the area around the epiglottis. So it's a very slight constriction so that you make a sound when you inhale and exhale. It sounds like this. So it's been described as the sound a conch shell makes when you place it to your ear, the sound of the sea, the sound of a rushing wind in the treetops. So just allow yourself to make that gentle sound by constricting the throat. If that doesn't feel comfortable, don't do it. Ujjayi means victory, and the victory here we're attempting is over the kshipta chitta, the restlessness of the mind. Use it as a focus now and in the postures. It can help you to get more deeply into a pose. Next time you exhale, drop your chin gently towards your chest. And then as you inhale, draw one ear towards the shoulder of the same side. Exhale, chin to chest. And inhale, draw the other ear towards the other shoulder. So we're just making semicircles, dropping the chin to the chest, opening up the side and the back of the neck. Stretching into and releasing the occipital area, the area where the base of the skull meets the top of the spine. Rolling the chin across the chest, feeling that release in the head and neck. Don't take the head behind the midline at the moment. We're just warming up gently, so don't introduce any strain into the throat if you can possibly help it. Exhaling, chin to chest, inhaling, ear to shoulder, in your own time. Exhaling, chin to chest, and then inhaling to lengthen up through the body when you're ready. Flutter open the eyelids if you've had them closed. Wrap your shoulders back and down, draw your ears away from your shoulders, bring your palms together, note which thumbs on top, clasp your hands and send them forward in a fist. As you draw the fist further away from you, draw your belly button to your spine and round your back. So you're making a nice curve of the spine here. Inhale, come up to a lengthened spine, flip the palms so they face away from you, take them up and overhead and draw your chest forward. So we're curving the other way now. Keep going with that with your breath. So with the exhalation, we bring the palms together, we round the spine, flex the spine, draw the fist away and the belly back. And then we inhale, we draw the hands in, we flip the palms, we send them away, up and over, chest comes forward, shoulders back. I'm going to do 2 more of these in your own time. Make them slightly bigger as your back begins to warm up, so you can make that curve a little bit bigger if you want to. And then as you draw forward, take the shoulders back and down, draw the chest forward, and you'll feel a slight arch in the back. 1 more. Drawing back. It's almost as if you want to draw your belly away from something. And now we're going to stick it all out to the front. Inhale here, open the arms, draw them behind you now, same thumb on top, clasp the hands behind as we did before, and now bring your hands together to your right hip, lengthening through the torso. Inhale here, drop your chin to your chest and then draw the chin over to your right shoulder, look over your right shoulder. Feel that stretch in the shoulders. Exhale, chin to chest, take the chin over to the other shoulder, look over the left shoulder. Inhale, chin to chest, lengthen the spine, and if you're able to, draw your ear over towards the shoulder, drawing away from your hands. Inhale and exhale to release. So now bring your hands together with the other thumb on top, so it'll feel really, really awkward. Stretch your hands away Flip the palms. We'll do that exercise again. We'll just do a couple this time. Inhaling as the chest comes forward, the shoulders come back. Exhaling as the belly draws back and the hands come forward. One more. Inhaling up and over. Exhaling, drawing back. Inhale, open the arms, take them behind you. And again, that awkward clasp with what feels like the wrong thumb on top. Bring the hands to your left waist. Lift up your body, chin to chest. And we're going to draw the chin over to one shoulder, chin to chest, over to look over the other shoulder. Chin to chest, draw up, and if you can, draw the ear towards the shoulder, drawing away from the clasped hands. Feeling that stretch through the neck. Inhale to center and release. Okay, we're going to be doing a few twists today. So the first of our twists is Virabhadrasana, variation on gate pose. So you can stay in this position if you want to and release your left foot out in front, or if that's too much, your alternative is to bring the foot to the inner thigh. Whichever position you're in, sit up tall, lengthen through the spine, and as you exhale, twist to your right. So the left hand comes across the body to the outer right thigh, right shoulder rolls back and down, press into the fingertips and twist away from your lengthened leg. You can stay here if you want to intensify the pose. You inhale, you draw your right arm up and over, and you stretch that arm overhead towards your left foot. So you may be here, or you may be here. Your hand may come all the way to the toes, or you might get better alignment if you're slightly lifted, or you might be nowhere near your toes. Breathing deeply and feeling that lovely stretch in the right hip. Try and keep your right buttock firmly grounded onto the floor or onto the block or cushion if you're using one. Inhale, draw your belly button to your spine, come up slowly, and then gently release that leg out in front. We're going on the other side. So your option is to bring your left foot to your right inner thigh, or you can take it behind, so that you're opening your legs a sort of 90-degree angle if you're doing that version. We inhale here and we exhale, we twist to the left. Right hand comes across the body, so it's coming to your outer thigh or your calf. Left shoulder wraps back and down, and we lift here. You can stay here if you don't like the bend, or float up and over in the direction of your foot. You might be able to get more deeply into one side or less deeply. There are natural asymmetries in most bodies. So just go with it. Use your Ujjayi breath. You might find that gives you a little bit more release in the body. One more breath here. Then we're coming up and out of it. Gently release that leg from wherever it is. Bring both heels to your right buttock and roll over, coming into an all fours position. So the next one of our twists is a variation on child's pose, Balasana. If you need to stretch out your spine, come into Balasana, child's pose, sit your buttocks back on your heels and stretch your arms out in front. Then when you're ready, set up your box position. Make sure that you've got good alignment, shoulder over wrist, knee under hips. And we're going to inhale and float the right hand up towards the ceiling, opening the chest, maybe taking your eye gaze up to your fingertips. Exhale and draw your right hand underneath your left armpit, stretch it away, and maybe your head and shoulder come down towards the mat. Watch that your hips don't collapse over to the side at this point. Try and make sure they stay level. From here, stretch your left hand in front of you to the front of your mat, or you can take a bind. Float that left hand up and over. It travels behind, and maybe the fingertips come to your right inner thigh. Wrap the left shoulder back and down. Look at the ceiling if you can.
Inhale to release that arm. Exhale, press your left hand into the mat. Release your right shoulder. Sit back into child's pose for one breath only, or stay here for a bit longer if you feel you'd like to. Otherwise, inhale to all fours. Left hand comes up. Chest opens to the left. Check in with your hips. Watch that they haven't wandered off to the side. Take your left arm underneath your right armpit. Stretch it away. Option here, right hand to the ceiling, bind behind. Opening the chest, eye gaze up if you can. If it's too much, look straight ahead. Inhale, release that bind. Press the right hand into the mat, release the left hand, sit back into child's pose for your exhalation. Inhale up onto all fours, tuck the toes, and as you exhale, we're coming into down face dog. So press into the outer hands, lift the knees, send the hips high to the ceiling, draw the chest towards the thighs, and then see if you can draw your heels down to the mat. So you're trying to get your bottom really high, your chest to your thighs, your heels towards the mat. Take the weight out of your wrists by pressing into your fingertips. From here, inhale, press your left heel down, lift your right leg up high into three-legged dog or downward dog split. And as you exhale, draw that right thigh all the way forward, bending your left leg and bringing your right foot to your right hand. We're coming into a lunge. And when you've got your balance in your lunge, press back into your left heel and lift up into high lunge. If you've got quite a spongy mat, you might wobble quite a bit. Inhale here and open your chest if your lower back's okay. Pressing through that back heel that acts as a stabilizing rudder. Takes some of the weight off the front thigh. However, drawing the belly in, we're going to lean ever so slightly forward. Balance it by pressing through your left heel, but taking your weight forward is going to increase the need for strength here. So pull up, activate your quadriceps, draw your shoulders back and down, and take your weight slightly forward. Use your Ujjayi breath if you need to. Inhale, come back up again, lift, and as you exhale, take your right hand to the back of your mat and your left hand forward. So we're coming into a crescent lunge twist here. If you need to float your hands to the floor for balance, do so. Otherwise, challenge yourself. Use that back leg for strength. If you want to challenge yourself more, you can take your right hand back and your left hand up, opening your chest here. Release the twist. Come into warrior one by adjusting your back foot, pressing it down, opening the chest. And then we're going to open up here into warrior two. So adjust your back foot so your hips face the long side of your mat. Now take your back arm up and over, frame your front foot, lift your back heel, press your left hand into the mat and float your right fingertips up towards the ceiling. We're now in a lunge twist. Power through that back heel. Float your right hand down, press both hands into the mat, bring your right hand back, and we're coming into plank. If you need a rest, come into child's pose. If you're an experienced yogi and you want to do chaturanga and into up dog, do so, or the intermediate option is with me now. We drop the knees, we bring the chin and chest down to the floor, we draw the chest forward, we wrap the shoulders back and down into Bhujangasana Cobra. Tuck the toes, lift up into your down face dog. And if you're in child's pose, lift up into down face dog now. Hips high, heels down, press away. Inhale, left leg comes up. Exhale, draw it all the way forward into your lunge. Find your balance. And when you're ready, come up into your crescent lunge. Press through your both heels here and draw your inner thighs together for stability. Open your heart space. Keeping that heel lifted if you can, we're going to come forward, drawing the hands towards your front of your mat, but pressing your back heel down. So you're really working into that front thigh. So make sure you're using the muscle here, but you're not allowing yourself to lean on your joints here. Firing through your back right heel, activating your calf there. Now we're going to come up and we're going to open into the twist. So the right hand comes forward and the left hand comes back, with the option of taking that up and leaning back if you want to. Use your Ujjayi breath. Release gently out of the twist. Plant your back foot down. Your back foot's at 45 degrees. The hips are closed here. So warrior one, hips face the short side of the mat. From here, we go briefly into warrior two. Hips face the long side of the mat. Keep making sure that that front knee is turned out while the hips are trying to open up. Inhale and exhale for a bit more depth. And now we're going to take the back arm up and over, lift the back heel, press your right hand into the mat, and now low lunge twist. Inhale, float that hand down. We're coming into plank, front leg comes back, long line with the body, come into child's pose, come all the way to the mat in a straight line if you're coming into chaturanga, or I recommend you drop the knees, bring the chest down, keeping the hips high if you can, slide the chest forward, wrap the shoulders back and down here. Tuck the toes, downward dog. If you're in child's pose, come up to downward dog when you're ready. From here, we're all going to walk the feet to the front of the mat, take a forward fold, use a block to support your hands if you need to, or hands to shins, or take your peace fingers around your big toe and widen your elbows as you draw your chest towards your thighs. Use your Ujjayi. Inhale. Tuck the tailbone, open the arms and come up to standing at the front of your mat. Exhale your hands to your heart center. So we're going to do a standing twist now. It's a balance challenge, so if your mat is very spongy, I recommend you step slightly off it. Have your feet parallel. Lift your front right heel and twist towards the right. This is your low option. Next option is to lift and find balance here. Third option, if you've got long arms and short legs or both, you can try lifting that leg. This is where your strap might come in handy if you're struggling to get your hand to your foot. So really use your internal obliques here. Feel that energy in the belly. Inhale, release the leg, gently float it to the floor. We're going on the other side. I'm just going to turn around so it's easier for you to see me. You can stay where you are. Left heel lifts. We're twisting to the left. Option, draw the thigh up. Option, lengthen the leg. It's up to you. With or without a strap to help you to reach your foot. If you can, take your hand, your eye gaze to your back hand. It makes it quite a bit more challenging. Do what you can. Be gentle on yourself. One more breath here. Release, release, release. So we're coming back to the mat and we're coming down to the floor. So bend the knees and just come down to a low crouch and then arrange yourself on the mat with plenty of mat behind you and stretch your legs out in front. So we've got one more twist here. Sit in Dandasana, so sit as long as you can, drawing your crown away from your tailbone. Flex your feet to activate your legs. Draw your shoulders back and down. Take your, should be the other way around. Take your left hand across to the right side, bending your knee if you need to, so that you can grab hold of your right foot. Again, if you've got a strap, that might help here. From here, you're going to twist to the right, wrapping your shoulders back and down. So it's very similar to what we just did standing up. Keep active through that left foot. So your options here are to keep your hand on the floor, float it up, float the leg up, straighten the leg. Wrap the shoulders back and down and twist a little more if you can. Looking to your backhand if you can. Now, the tendency here is to roll back. So don't think, oh, I can get my leg up, great, and fall over. Draw yourself up to your full height and length here. And then bend the knee and release, and we'll go the other way around. Sitting up as tall as possible, bending the leg, right hand to left foot, sit up tall, use the hand behind if you need to, and then when you're ready to lift off, take the hand away. Looking behind you if you can. One more breath here. And then gently release that leg, release the twist. Sit up straight in Dandasana, take a forward fold, inhaling here up to the ceiling and exhaling as you draw your rib cage down towards your thigh bones if you can. Soften everything. Paschimottanasana, intense stretch of the west side of the body. Release your hands to the floor if you're holding your feet. And then just gently come back up to a seated position. So we're going to come down to the floor. When we get to the floor, you're going to want the soles of your feet together and your knees turned out. So make sure you've got plenty of mat behind you. We'll come down with straight legs today. So take your hands out in front in the position we had them at the beginning of the class. So pushing your fists away, drawing your palms together. Tuck your tailbone under, draw your belly button to spine, and see if you can slowly find your way down to the mat. And when you get there, draw your knees in and hug them towards your chest. Have your cushions, bolsters, whatever, blankets within reach. Bring your feet to the floor, supporting your thighs. Bring the soles of your feet together and open your hips here. So if this feels horrible, put cushions or blocks underneath your outer thighs. If it feels fine and you want to intensify the stretch for your torso, you can have a bolster here and open your chest and your shoulders. That's a lovely stretch. Even better is if you can angle the bolster, if you're able to, if you've got one, or your cushions, so that your head is above your heart here. And once you get into this position, you might feel that you'd like to stay here for a very long time indeed. Connect with your breath. So if you've got your chest open in this position, or even if you haven't, you've got your hips open. Allow for that sense of surrender into the pose. Soften all the areas where you might be holding on. Let go of everything now. Let go of the Ujjayi breath. Let go of your resistance in whatever form it takes. Bring your mind into stillness, softening the belly, softening the hips, softening the chest, softening the breath at every stage of its journey, allowing it to gently fill and gently release. Keep breathing.
If thoughts crowd in, you start thinking about what needs to be done, let it go. I'm watching the clock so you don't have to. Sink your weight into the mat. Open your heart space. Soften your jaw. Even though your eyes are closed, let your eye gaze be soft. Let the tongue rest soft on the floor of the mouth or just behind the teeth. With every breath, allow your body to sink more deeply into the mat. With every breath, allow the silt, the impurities that have gathered in the pool of your mind to sink to the bottom. Allow your mind to become still. Take these moments of stillness and emptiness to find deep rest. Shavasana or corpse pose, or in this case, Supta Baddha Konasana, positions of deep rest. If you're able to stay here, if you're able to give yourself the gift of another few minutes, then just ignore me and carry on focusing on your breath. If you need to go, then gently bring your hands towards the outside of your thighs. Draw your inner thighs together, supporting them with your hands. And then when you're ready, gently roll over onto the right side of your body, rolling off your bolster, removing any props. Remain on your side for one more breath. And then gently push yourself up into a seated position. Bringing your hands to your heart center and gently fluttering open the eyes. Thank you for coming to class today. I do hope you'll come again. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.